we have God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
You can see that in the Genesis, the Bible made reference to God the Father,
Okay.
creating heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Then you get to understand that the mode of administration in the New Testament,
Okay.
we have God the Son that took over, and these three they are talking about, they are working out, they are still together.
Okay.
They are inseparable. They are inseparable.
All right.
As you have God the Father that is working
Yeah.
the same thing as God the Son, the same as God the Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay.
So the Holy Spirit also, this administration is what we are just seeing as something that we say that we can differentiate between them, but
Okay.
they are still the same thing working together as one.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So my name is Wale.
My name is Sam.
All right, nice to meet you. So I'm asking, are you Christian or Muslim?
I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian, okay. So I'm sure you've heard of the term Trinity before.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if I may ask, what do you understand by the Trinity?
Okay, when we are talking about Trinity, we are talking about the personality of God.
Okay.
Like when you're having three personalities that are behaving as one.
Okay.
Which is God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Okay, I like that. So you're saying there's God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? So, but there's people like the Muslims or people that are non-Christians. They would say Christians believe in or worship three gods. So how do you explain that part to someone like that?
Okay, let me just make this clear. No, Christians, we did not worship three gods.
Okay.
So we worship one God, but its mode of administration is basically in three places.
Okay.
Now, like as human being now, we have our body, we have soul and spirit.
Yeah.
There are three, let me say three components that are joined together as one.
Okay.
So as we have the body, we have the spirit that is making the body to be alive,
to function,
and we have the soul also that is, let me say that one is the one that will respond to the eternity. So the same thing that we human beings were created, the same thing as God. We have God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You can see that in the Genesis, the Bible made reference to God the Father, creating heaven and earth. Then you get to understand that the mode of administration in the New Testament, we have God the Son that took over, and these three they are talking about, they are working out, they are still together. They are inseparable. They are inseparable.
All right.
As you have God the Father that is working the same thing as God the Son, the same as God the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit also, this administration is what we are just seeing as something that we say that we can differentiate between them, but they are still the same thing working together as one.
Okay, I like that. I like that, and I agree with a lot of what you said. Well, in what you said the mode of operation or the mode of administration of God, like you said, the Son took over. So my question would be, when like in Genesis, when they talk about God the Father, right, and when the Son took over, like, I don't understand what you mean by took over. Was it that the Father stopped to work and then let the Son do his own work, and then when the Son left, now the Holy Spirit is now doing his work? Or what does?
When I said that, okay, we have the amount of administration in which in Genesis God the Father was working, but then there is no reference to God the Son. You can see that Abraham did not communicate with, let's say, the Jesus now that come to the earth personified. So that's all right. But in the New Testament that Jesus Christ was given birth to die for the sins of man. The Bible really makes reference to the ministry of Jesus on earth. So at that particular phase, we are having God the Son that is at work, that we can see, we can relate with, not God the Father that is a being that is up there that we are communicating with, praying to. So that is what I'm saying about it took over, because at that particular time there is need for someone that will come and die for our sin. And it is now God himself that come in form of human being as God the Son that died for us.
I like that. But I just want to, is that all of the understanding that you have pertaining it? Because I just want to like give you my own understanding of
no problem.
All right. So in the way I understand it, I don't think that, like in the Old Testament, how you said we don't have the Son or God the Son doing operation there. Like
we actually have him, but he's not really making we are not making reference to him.
Okay, all right. So I'll say this, like even in Genesis 1, the first chapter, the first book, right, it says in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the Spirit of the God was hovering over the face of the water, right? And it said God spoke, right, and created, let there be light, and there was light. So even in that part, we see the Trinity there. Yeah, you see that the Father speaks, because John 1:1 tells us that Jesus Christ is the Word, right? So when the Father speaks, it is the Word now that is creating. And we see the Spirit also. The Spirit is also participating in the creation. So there we see the Trinity there, right in the very first chapter, right in the very first one. And about the Son again, I think that if we go through several chapters in that Genesis, you mentioned Abraham never like saw Jesus, but Jesus Christ told us that Abraham saw his day and he was glad, right? So we see, if you
when I'm making a reference, I'm not talking about like I'm not talking about sin physically.
Yeah.
I'm talking about I'm talking about him seeing it physically.
Okay.
Like then the Bible did not really make reference to Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Everything about them was just like prophecy. Okay. But what you said, I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Because then from the book of Genesis, we have the three at work.
The
Spirit over the sea. The word that is spoken by God. But then the prophets that come that manifested during the Old Testament, they really make obeisance to God the Father.
Only, you would say, or to the Trinity.
To the Trinity. But the manifestation there is still like God the Father that is speaking directly. Not that a mediator. That's now been manifested in his personality as human being to die for us.
Okay, let's round up with this. I'll just round up with this bit. So about Abraham, like I still want to contend that Abraham actually saw Jesus Christ. And I'll give you the reason why I'm saying it. Not even in Revelation. So remember when Abraham was sitting under the tree and then he saw 3 people came and then he invited them to his house and then told Sarah to go and prepare food for them, and that was when the visitors told him that by this time next year Sarah was going to conceive and she's going to give birth, right? That was when they were on their way to go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Okay, so we're told that the 3 men or angels, as they were mentioned, 2 of them left and then 1 was there, right? So the one, when the 2 left and the one that was remaining, he was speaking to Abraham. He told Abraham that he was going to go and destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. But before he told him, he was already saying it in his mind, should I go and destroy them without telling Abraham? Let me inform Abraham about it, right? So he informed Abraham about it, and then Abraham was like, oh God, if we get so number of people, would you relent your judgment? I say yes, if we did, but they didn't find, right? So Abraham mentioned something, right? He said, shall the judge of all the earth not have mercy on the few righteous people that are there, right? So he's specifically mentioning to that person as the judge of all the earth, right? Right. So we go to the New Testament there and we see Jesus speaking in the gospel, and he said something. He said the Father judges no one but has committed all judgment unto the Son. You understand? So linking the two now, we see that the person that is judging all the earth is not actually the Father, it's the Son, right? And Jesus also mentioned something when he told the Jews that Abraham saw his day and he rejoiced. He was glad to see it. Abraham saw him and he did not do what they wanted to do when they wanted to kill him, right? So looking at that now, we see that a reference that Christ is actually saying that Abraham actually saw him. Him and Abraham actually spoke, and Abraham was glad to see his day. What do you think about just this little?
All right, with the illustration that you just made, although it is in the Bible. Actually, when we are talking about when Jesus was saying that Abraham sees my days and he was rejoicing. You know as the angel that stood by. The Bible did not really say that this is, but the way the Bible classified it was classified as God is speaking to Abraham, like the personality.
Actually the angel was referred to as Yahweh.
Now at that particular place, now making it that it is Jesus. With let me say with contrast to what you said. Now then Abraham on his own. We cannot say Abraham did necessarily know that we have, let me say, Jesus Christ coming. The Bible did not make reference to that.
I know. At that point, we can say it's not that very clear. At that point, it's not very clear. At that point.
Because Abraham, all his service, the Bible said that Abraham believed in God and was calling to him as righteousness. So he believed in the personality that called him out of his father's land.
I agree with you.
Totally.
Okay. So can we say Abraham believed in the Trinity? Or he believed as God as one single personality?
Actually, if we answer that question, based on the Bible references from the Genesis and
to the Revelation.
To Revelation. Although in part of Hebrew, I think
is it
I can't
11?
remember the chapter now. That even though when Joseph was said by Abraham sees my days and was that one normally we can say that okay, when during the administration of God to Abraham, there might be in one way or the other that God might minister to Abraham, like for Abraham to know that okay, well, this is me. But we cannot really justify it that Abraham knew that there is Trinity. Because throughout the time that God spoke with Abraham, God spoke with Abraham like, walk with me and be perfect. I will make you this, make you that, make you that. And throughout how Abraham worship God as a personality, a supreme being. But not as Trinity.
I think I think if it's as a Trinity, it's still going to be as a supreme being.
Yes,
so,
a supreme being. Because now Abraham himself in his days cannot really fathom.
There's what we call what's it called again? Progressive revelation, right? In that the revelation that God revealed himself to the prophets was not at the same, it was progressive. So you will say someone like Isaiah would know more about God than someone like Abraham, because at that point,
because even though what God showed Isaiah,
exactly,
I think that's why Isaiah even himself made the proclamation, the prophecy about the coming of Jesus Christ.
The Trinity is actually laid. Isaiah is actually considered one of the Gospels that is in the Old Testament, because it has a lot of references to the Trinity. My brother, thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
All right, sir.
God bless you.